the Z20 Max is no longer a Z20 Max. It is a Z40. You may ask why we did that. Well, some guy forgot to tighten his chain, and I knocked out third gear out of my 125 motor. After I just spent all the time in the one video I did on it before of, you know, adjusting the valves.
Right. Now
I was like, oh, I got it running great, and boom, grenade. So this is the motor out of the DBX140, the DBX1 140cc bike that we used to have. That's why you see the taotao motor cover on there. So this engine had a bad head. Well, it had a bad valve in it because a nut came through the intake and the valve was basically just bent straight out of the head and hit the cylinder. So what we did is I bought a new head for it. I think it was roughly $80, I want to say, with the gas. And you have to buy a gasket kit separately. But around $80 for a new complete head. All you have to do is basically put the timing chain on, the cam chain on, and bolt on. I had to bolt on my old plate because it didn't have the mount for the external oil cooler for the 140.
Gotcha. So
this plate is actually robbed off of my old 140 head. But besides that, everything did not go smoothly at all. I can't lie to you guys.
Yeah, he was fighting this thing for a while.
I was fighting this thing for a long time. So the castings, I mean, you can just look at it and see just the quality of the castings on this thing. It looks terrible.
Yep.
So the castings are terrible. Like when I was trying to get the front plate right here, which holds your whole entire cylinder and head and everything on, these run all the way down to the case. When I was trying to put those on, ripped the gasket because these aren't trued up on the cover. Like the gasket was, and they already have the gaskets pre-laid on all the covers. So really piss poor. I fought this thing for weeks on end and finally got it going. And when I actually got it going, it sounded like it was just gonna explode. And what happened is it actually, either I didn't tighten the 3 bolts on the cam gear, or they just came loose. Either or, I think I'll probably take the blame on that one.
Yeah, definitely blame you.
So it actually came out, it lodged in between the chain and the gear, which was actually probably the best case scenario.
Right.
So then all I had to do was try to peel it off, which it was a bastard to peel it off. Like trying to work that thing out there, because man, that chain is stretched. I mean, it's already tight already, and then it just. So got that out. We double-checked timing, double-checked everything. We set it exactly the same thing as what we had it before, and all the valve noise went away. It sounds a million times smoother now.
Right.
So maybe it was for the better. But yeah, right now all I'm dealing with is just a slight leak from the valve cover, the cap, not valve cover, valve cap down there.
Oh yeah.
So
I have to put a different O-ring or something.
I think I just need a new O-ring on there, which I should.
What did you run into with the kicker and then your clutch?
Yeah.
You had to make a custom clutch bracket.
The kicker is actually. This is a 16mm kicker, and I believe it's a 13mm on a 125. So I was like, oh, you know, because you need to, on these chassis, you need to be able to swing out, because otherwise, if you have a normal one, it'll just swing right here, and you'll hit swing arm bolt, brake, you'll hit everything. Yeah, so you need one that swings out. I think this one's like maybe $12 on eBay, $12 whole. And of course, like everything else that went great with this build, I got it, and the thing won't even frickin' go over. So I did was put it in a vise, and then hit the thing with a hammer, so it finally rotate over.
Jeez.
So yeah, just a nightmare. So right now I'm working on just getting it bent out so I can have my brake work still. So
well, your brake doesn't work. Yeah, it does.
It does. It's just
your kick
right now it's like in my foot peg, like in my path where my foot would be.
Oh, sure.
So yeah, a lot of nightmares. But it was a direct bolt in with this frame. I thought it would be because I mean they make a Z40 and it's the same exact frame.
Yeah.
So had to fab up my amazing clutch arm too, guys.
Clutch bracket,
yes.
Clutch cable bracket holder.
Yep. Because otherwise, obviously, your clutch will not work. But it actually pulls really smooth. Yeah, and as far as kind of the electrical plug and play, it was a true plug and play. There isn't much on these. It's just one plug coming out of the stator over here. Well, where your flywheel and stator is. Right underneath this cover is where that is. So it's just this one plug that wraps up and around and plugs in. I think it plugs in right up top here. You have to pull a tank off and stuff. But yeah, everything bolted right up, and you know this is a YX140 motor. I believe that's a YX125. I think it's the same type of motor. It's just obviously this one's got 25 or 15 cc's on it.
Right.
So as far as that goes, I'm running a chintzy carb on there too right now, which actually runs pretty dang good. So I think what we might do is we might throw a nibby on it, potentially. It just sucks because this thing has a complete air box, so I have to eliminate the air box. So I'll just put a pod on it if I have room. So
Nice oil cooler you had to buy separate, correct?
yeah, oil cooler I had to buy separate.
How much was that?
17.
Okay, less than 20 bucks.
Yeah, 20 bucks or less.
Okay.
And like to get like, cause I obviously made a lot of valve noise, so I was constantly checking the valves, and these covers never would go on easy or come off easy. Like usually you just take them off and then they pick right off. You gotta hit it with a screwdriver. That's what you see the scratch marks.
So
hit it
yeah,
with a screwdriver.
I would definitely shy away from those eBay cylinder heads. Maybe you'll get a good one, but
Or maybe I just gotta pour one.
seemed like it was a little rough in terms of that. You want to give it a startup?
Yeah.
I drove it around, guys. It had a decent amount of power. I wouldn't say it's a ton more than the
A
125.
lot more off the bottom. I mean,
Yeah.
with these big tires, it doesn't help trying to lug it around.
But before, guys, this thing was so noisy in the valve train. It was like, man, it ain't right.
Maybe I don't have a clip, but I might have a clip.
Trust me, this is how it's supposed to sound.
If anyone knows where to get a good rear shock for these things,
Yes.
please let us know.
Yes, we've been trying to find a rear shock for this Z20 Max, and we can't get the right ones.
I bought it and I was like, oh, this one's gonna be great. Same exact shock. Looked like it was the exact same thing. Put it in and I literally bottomed out the fender to the tire.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter if I tightened the spring up or not. It's like this one used to be bad, but I tightened the spring up so much that it's got like no give.
Right.
So
yeah, this is a 140 swapped Apollo RFZ Z20 Max. I'm sure the Piranha 140 would bolt right in.
yeah, I think so.
Heck yeah, man. All right, so if you guys have questions about the 140 swaps in these bikes, let us know.
Yeah.
But
It's pretty simple, honestly. It does help. It's really nice if you have two guys to do it.
yeah,
And always make sure when you're doing a motor swap, never tighten any of the bolts completely. You always want to leave them loose so you can start all of them.
yep.
Very good note to self.
Make sure to tighten up your little jam nut on your
Yeah, I saw that was walking around.
clutch cable there.
So
All right, but she started up, what, 2 kicks?
yeah.
And this is an engine we got warrantied out by Tao.
So this is free.
This is a free motor basically because we got a brand new engine for the original DBX1 that had failure with, the engine failure on this particular motor, but the bottom end was fine.
And it's got a brand new clutch.
And a brand new clutch we put in it. So all we had to do is put that cylinder head on it. And as you can see, she's running pretty good.